y'all, welcome and welcome back to this video on applications of environmental ethics, climate change, conservation, and environmental justice. Environmental ethics is not just a theoretical project. It's meant to guide how we respond to real-world environmental problems. The frameworks we've studied, such as the land ethic, deep ecology, social ecology, ecofeminism, bioregionalism, and sustainability, offer different answers to the question, what should we do? In this video, we focus on three major areas where environmental ethics directly shapes decisions and public debates: climate change, conservation and preservation, and environmental justice. Each of these domains raises difficult questions about who counts morally, how benefits and burdens should be distributed, and what kinds of relationships we ought to have with the natural world. Climate change is one of the most urgent and complex problems in contemporary ethics. It raises issues of responsibility across time, space, and species. Greenhouse gas emissions from industrialized societies contribute to rising temperatures, sea level rise, and extreme weather events that will affect people and ecosystems far into the future. Environmental ethics asks us to consider the moral status of future generations. Do we have obligations to people who do not yet exist? If so, how strong are those obligations, and what do they require of us now? A sustainability perspective answers yes. Present generations must meet their own needs in ways that do not compromise the ability of future generations to meet theirs. This idea transforms climate change from a purely technical or economic problem into a moral one grounded in fairness, responsibility, and long-term thinking. Climate change also highlights questions of climate justice. The people and countries that have contributed the least to greenhouse gas emissions are often those who suffer the most severe impacts through droughts, floods, food insecurity, and displacement. From an ethical standpoint, this inequality is not just unfortunate, it is unjust. Social ecology emphasizes that environmental problems are deeply entangled with social and political structures, pointing out that marginalized communities frequently bear disproportionate environmental burdens. Ecofeminism adds that gender, race, and global power imbalances shape who is the most vulnerable to climate disruption. Applying these frameworks, we're encouraged to ask not only how to reduce emissions, but who should bear the costs, who has decision-making power, and whose voices are being heard or ignored in climate policy. Conservation and preservation provide another arena in which environmental ethics becomes practical. Conservation typically aims at the sustainable use of natural resources. Forests, fisheries, soil, water, and wildlife are managed so that humans can continue to benefit from them over time. By contrast, preservation seeks to protect certain places or species from human use entirely, treating them as having value beyond their utility. Aldo Leopold's land ethic is especially influential here. His focus on the integrity, stability, and beauty of the biotic community suggests that both conservation and preservation must be evaluated in terms of how they affect entire ecosystems, not just human interests. Deep ecology pushes this further, arguing that non-human beings and ecological wholes have intrinsic value, which means that protecting them is not simply a matter of long-term human benefit, but a moral requirement. When we apply these ideas to concrete decisions, such as whether to log an old-growth forest, build a dam, or allow mining in a sensitive habitat, environmental ethics gives us a richer vocabulary for evaluation. Instead of asking only how many jobs will this create, or how much profit will this generate, we're asked to consider what species and ecosystems will be harmed or lost. Are there culturally significant relationships to this land, particularly for indigenous communities? Does this action preserve or damage the integrity of the biotic community? Bioregionalism adds a further dimension by emphasizing place-based knowledge and local accountability. It suggests that decisions about land, water, and resources should be guided by intimate understanding of local ecosystems rather than distant abstract calculations. Environmental justice brings together environmental ethics and social justice by focusing on who's exposed to environmental harm and who enjoys environmental benefits. In many places, low-income communities and communities of color live closer to landfills, highways, factories, and toxic sites than wealthier communities do. They often have less political power to resist harmful projects or to demand cleanup. Social ecology interprets this as a consequence of hierarchical power structures. Those with more power shift environmental burdens onto those with less power. Ecofeminism extends the analysis by showing how patterns of domination over women, over marginalized groups, over nature are interconnected. Applying these frameworks, environmental justice movements argue that clean air, safe water, green spaces, and a healthy environment are not luxuries, but matters of basic moral and political equality. Across these applications, climate change, conservation and preservation, and environmental justice, one theme consistently emerges. Environmental decisions cannot be separated from questions of value, responsibility, and fairness. Environmental ethics challenges purely economic or technocratic approaches by insisting that we ask deeper questions. What kind of world are we creating? Who gets to decide? Whose well-being matters? Which beings and systems have moral standing? The land ethic directs us towards the health of ecological communities. Deep ecology asks us to recognize the intrinsic value of all life. Social ecology and ecofeminism reveal the social and political dimensions of environmental harm. Bioregionalism and sustainability emphasize local responsibility and long-term planetary care. As you learn about environmental ethics, keep in mind that environmental ethics is not an abstract spectator sport. It's about how we respond collectively and individually to the ecological conditions that make life possible. Applying these theories to real cases like climate policy, land management, urban planning, and environmental justice struggles shows how philosophical ideas can illuminate and guide the concrete choices that shape the future of both human and non-human life on Earth. Alright y'all, that's all for now. If you're interested in more videos about philosophy and ethics, check out the videos posted on our channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.